So welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be going through how to use PvPoke.com. So as you can see here, we're after going into the rankings screen, and for the purpose of this video I'm going to show you the rankings as opposed to the Sorcerer's Cup. So you go into this drop down menu. It didn't show up properly here for me on the recording, but that's okay, and it gives you the list of cups to choose from. Here, I just clicked on Frostlass as the number 1 Pokemon, and Azumarill here as number 2 Pokemon. It shows you their key wins and key losses. So you can type in a type, so like the grass type, ice type, and it shows you all Pokemon of those types. If you type at, and actually spell things right, at fairy means anyone with a fairy move will show up. You can also type in other things into the search bar, like we can go at close, searching for close combat, shows all Pokemon with close combat as a move, and you can also use it in different ways. Exclamation point water here will show you the list of Pokemon, taking out all the water Pokemon. If you did exclamation point at confusion, that's going to take out all the Pokemon that learn confusion as a move. If you did exclamation point water and at close combat, shows you all the non-water Pokemon that can learn close combat, or all the non-water Pokemon that learn fairy moves, as this is the case here. So again, you can click across, and this shows you the Pokemon that are best in the lead scenario. This shows you Pokemon that are best as closers, and again, you can see here why the likes of Frostlass, Azu, and a Alolan Muck are up towards the top. This shows you the best Pokemon that switch in. This shows you the best Pokemon with extra energy built up and making them stronger. This shows you Pokemon that are just sheer attackers, and generally these are going to be your counter users, your confusion users, these hard hitting class moves. And also then you have your consistency, which is this Pokemon is going to perform consistently, and it's not dependent on it has to land a base to get the move, or it has to land a big move. As you can see, things like that will have 100% consistency, but as you're going to see here, when I go back to the overall and just search for Xatu itself, it's ranked 102 in this cup. So it may not be good for the meta, but because it's constantly going for the same moves, it's very consistent. So, as you can see here now, so the next thing we move into the battle tab here, and basically for this you can set it at single battle, multi-battle, matrix battle. We'll go through them all here in a second, but for a single battle you'll have Medicham, and I'll just put in Medicham versus Munchlax here. So I popped down the stats, and I made it a max level 41, so best body 100% Medicham, and I set it against the level 40 fully max defense Munchlax, and I just set the game up, or the simulation up, to do that. And as you can see here, it'll sim it out for you. It'll show you how much damage Dynamic Punch is going to do to Munchlax. So as you hover over the moves, you can also click here on Sandbox mode and click on each of these moves and change it from Dynamic Punch to counter, so you can change when you throw these moves. So here it is. I'm checking to see when it's most optimal time for me to throw the charge move as a Medicham, where I still have a little bit of residual energy from my Dynamic Punch, and I can survive the licks from the Munchlax, which are super effective on me. Again, coming up this time we changed it to multi-battle. So for this feature I kept Medicham at the same level 41, 100% Pokemon, and then I need to change it from Premier Cup to Sorcerer's Cup. There we go. So it shows you the spread Medicham has against the entire Sorcerer's Cup meta. And you can see here the Pokemon that performs best against it, like the Porygon Z, Ursaring. There's not a lot of these Pokemon going about. So what I like to do is change it to the custom tab, and then in the quick fill section, change that to the Silph Sorcerer's Cup meta. And then it'll show you versus the concentrated top meta how Medicham performs. You can see here these are the Pokemon you're going to be seeing most often. So it's going to be beaten by your Confusion users, it's going to be beaten by Charmers, it's going to be beaten by Haunter, it's going to lose to the standard Psychic Medicham set, but then at the same time it's going to beat anything that's weak to Counter. Now, changing it to a Matrix battle, what I've done is kept the top 27 top meta Pokemon as the drop down suggests, and I've just pitted it against the general Great League meta. Again, this is the top 40 Pokemon in the entire Great League meta, or the Go Battle League meta, as some of you may call it. And it just shows you numbers. Again, these numbers may not mean a lot. Anything over 500 is positive, under 500 is negative. So you can see here, as I try and find, as I zoom out here, just to show you the scale of all these numbers, it can look very scary at first. But again, I just clicked on one here, which is the Alolan Muck versus Azumarill matchup. You can see here with the standard sets, Player of Hydro Pump and Dark Pulse Sludge Wave, Azumarill wins the battle. So then all I do here is I change the set to an Ice Beam Azumarill. Again, with Ice Beam, Azumarill still wins in all even shield scenarios. And then I decided to change Muck from Sludge Wave to Gunk Shot. And you're still losing the 0 shield scenario, but you're now winning the 1 shield and 2 shield scenarios. So with this, you can just chop and change moves around to see if I run this and they run that, is it better? If they run this and I run that, is it better? And you can just tinker with it. So moving into the training battle section, which is in between battle and rankings, the train section. So here I just decided to put 6 Pokemon in. So I went for Hypno, I went for Frostlass. Again, I just went for 6 very meta relevant Pokemon, 5 and a wild card here I think. And Skuntank, Poison Jab, Crunch, Flamethrower. I went Wobbuffet just to have a curveball. Rather than picking 6 of the top Pokemon in the meta. Toxicroak here. And for the last slot, I decided to go for Licky Licky, Body Slam and Earthquake. So then I set it up as a tournament, 6v6. I changed the difficulty from Champion to Novice, just for educational purposes. And then with the team selection, you can put it to manual and input a team by yourself. You can set it to feature teams, and it'll give you a drop-down menu with feature teams in relevant cups. Or you can set it to, make sure you do set it to the meta, and then just set it to random. It'll give you a random 6, and you just have to deal with it. This is a great way of adjusting to little nooks and crannies in how to work with your team. I just saved this group as test team 1 for something we'll show later on, and then I click battle. And it just takes a minute to load. Again, just double checking all the settings are right, and here we go. So it shows me an opponent's roster and it shows me my roster. So the way I analyze this is the only thing that beats Hypno cleanly is going to be Weavile. So I can lead Hypno and safely say 5 of those 6 battles are going to be close. Then to beat Weavile, I need Toxicroak. So Toxicroak becomes my safe swap. And I'm going to make the mistake in some of these matches of putting Toxicroak in the wrong place. But that's okay. Again, this is all for educational purposes. I think I rectified it in the second game and then messed up again in the third. And then I looked and I said, what Pokemon has kind of the best overall coverage? If Hypno and Toxicroak are covering the vast majority, and I said Frostlass has a lot of general coverage with everything here. So I went to Frostlass. What I should have done is put Frostlass in number 2 and Toxicroak in number 3, as going to be shown very, very quickly here, where I swap straight into Frostlass into Weavile, which isn't ideal. So it's important to know what side you put your safe swap on. Again, I'd recommend this in-game or on PvPoke, but this is a great way just to get a feel for a team, and you don't have to spend a couple of 100,000 Stardust powering something up to be able to test it on PvPoke. So here again, the AI is going to use shields, it's going to bait, it may not bait, it depends. It's the exact same as if you're going battling someone. So for these first couple of battles, I didn't use the auto tap feature. So here I decided I'm going to come in Toxicroak. So I don't even get to Mud Bomb, and in comes Claydol. So again, this is going back to the old mechanic. If you did any PvP back before it became tap tap swipe, when it was just tap tap tap. So I swap out into my Hypno. And I decided at this point that I'm going to have to use my shields because I don't want the Toxicroak to come back in on the Claydol at any point. But again, this Claydol uses our power, I got the defense drop. So I decided I'm going to go for Thunder Punch, hoping the Claydol is going to use its shield. And essentially the whole game is relying on this because as a ground Pokemon it does no damage if it lands. So at this point I use my second shield, I get another defense drop, and with 15 seconds or 14, 13, 10 seconds on my switch clock, I have no option but to go for Shadow Ball and hope it's not shielded. After getting 2 defense drops, there goes the shield. Claydol will get to Earth Power before I can swap out or get to a new move. That'll finish off Hypno, and I just need to hope Toxicroak can farm. I can, and I wasn't getting to anything else, so I throw the Mud Bomb. But in comes Togekiss, and as you can see, the second the Mud Bomb is thrown, Toxicroak goes down. Yeah. So this screen then shows you which Pokemon took shields, which Pokemon dealt the most damage, essentially who was the most effective in the battle for you. So this time around I decided to swap around and put Toxicroak in number 3, which is my safe swap spot. Again, Hypno into Weavile, perfect, and I can swap straight into Toxicroak. At this point I shield just to keep the health on Toxicroak. I mean, this is all just to show off the mechanics of PvPoke, so again, we're not going to go into the battles too much. But in comes that too. And as you can see, it's just tap on the screen anywhere. It fills up the bubble, and once the bubble fills to the outside, you don't need to keep tapping it or lock it in place. There, at this point I decided there's no point to shielding Toxicroak again. And then bring in Frostlass. And I'm just going straight Avalanche, as that is a flying type Pokemon. So no shield there. And then in comes Qwilfish. And Qwilfish is a perfectly good depiction for this, that I want to shield Frostlass here. Okay, it's an Aqua Tail, fine. I was expecting the Aqua Tail, but again, just farm, and now I'm going to throw. So it gets the shield, and then I try and be greedy and go for the Shadow Ball, but I know I should have thrown the Avalanche as soon as I got it, because that extra 1 to get to the Shadow Ball resulted in the Aqua Tail like a KO. But then on the flip side, I have Hypno that can just confusion down Qwilfish. And when you're confusioning a poison type, they generally don't last very long. I don't even get the Thunder Punch loaded before it goes down. And again, you can see here, Quillfish did the most damage for them. Toxicroak and Frostlass did equal for me. Now this time, without me realizing it, for some reason, I decided to put Frostlass back in number 3. Just to show you how easy it is to change positions up. And back in, and it's hitting all against Weavile again. And again, I click on Frostlass because it's in my safe swap spot. So that's on me just putting Bugman in the wrong place. Big whoops. At this point, I'm just going for 1 Avalanche and I'll let Frostlass go. Again, the battles after this set. After this one, the next battles will show the auto tap feature, and it's just a little bit easier. I'm trying to get used to it. So again, in comes Toxicroak. He gets less farm than he did in the previous matches. Again, in comes Claydon. For some reason, I decided Sludge Bomb is a smart play here. Using poison on a ground type Pokemon, very smart. And then in comes Hypno into Claydol. So let's first our power through in case the defense drop happens. So again, just utilizing how the charge moves work. Just tap on the move, keep tapping until the screen is done. You also have the option to pause and restart the battles, as you can see on the left of the screen here. And again, at this point, knowing I resist counter and I have my shield. Yes, Alakazam also has a shield. It's going to be close. The Alakazam is so squishy, it's always going to be close. And it was a race for the charge move. And my little bit of residual energy just wasn't enough. And Alakazam gets the Thunder Punch before. But again, just goes to show how important it is to have Pokemon in the right spots. And again, this time I decided to try 3 different Pokemon, just to show them all off. I keep Frostlass, but so just then you can see I've clicked the auto tap button. So Licky is auto licking here. And I just have the switch menu open. Claydol pops up here and it's going to go Earth Power. So I let it through. And then I could go Earthquake here. I decided to try and get the bait and see. Will the AI take the bait? And it does, takes it, and then I go for Body Slam again. Just to do as much chip as I can. And I lick the Claydol down into the red. And at this point, I'm fairly safe to come in with Wobbuffet. I'm going to shield the first Earth Power because I feel like it. And then, as the auto tap is working, you don't have to tap on the screen, or don't have to click on the screen, tap on the screen. And I keep it up to see if I want to swap into Frostlass at any time. I decide to let this one through. I'm going to counter down. Then I go for the return on Alakazam. And Alexam doesn't shield it. At this point, Wobbuffet, I could counter down. I decided not to shield again, knowing Alakazam gets Fire Punch and I Frost Blast in the back. Just saving the shield for that eventuality, just in case. This time, charge up to return again. But I go for the Mirror Coat. At this point, Alakazam has to shield. And that's the thing, the AI won't go down with the shields when it has the opportunities to use them in general. Since Fire Punch will KO Wobbuffet. And I can come in and fast move charge. Fast move this Alakazam down. And then in comes the Weavile. And I have an Avalanche ready. And I'm almost at a second Avalanche. Plus, I have a shield. And the thing is, if you go up from the novice trainers up, the classes up towards the champion trainers, champion AIs, then they're going to swap out. They're going to have more optimized Pokemon. It's going to be tougher to defeat them. And this is just about showcasing how this system works on PvPoke. So, moving on to the next section, which is the team builder. So, all I've done here is clicked on the quick fill drop down where I have test team 1 that I saved from earlier. So it just plops that team straight in for me. I change my cup to Silph Sorcerer's Cup on the drop down menu at the top. And it gives you a rating of coverage, bulk, safety, and consistency. It then shows you versus the top meta how all your Pokemon do. So Frostlass being the number 1 Pokemon, that's the first line, and then Azu, then Muck, then Hypno, Bronzong, Noctowl, all the way down. And you can see any big X's or things are going to be hard losses. Like for Toxicroak, for Skuntank, Toxicroak is a hard loss. For a Alolan Sandslash, Toxicroak is a hard loss. For Hypno, Skuntank is a hard loss. And then the circle, the big white circles, like for Wobbuffet, Frostlass is a hard loss. For Toxicroak, Hypno is a hard loss. For Toxicroak, Bronzong is also a hard loss. Then it comes down and shows you the actual potential threats to your team. So these are the Pokemon that are going to basically trouble you the most. And if you build a team like this, and a lot of the top meta are what's going to counter you the most, then the team isn't ideal. And as you can see, threat score of 575, nothing to be sniffed at. But again, when you see the likes of the Azus, Munchlax, Frostlass, and Glalie, Noctowl, all at the top, top meta, countering your team isn't good. So then the next section down, the potential alternative section, shows you basically Pokemon you can put into your team to make it better. The next section here shows you all 6 of the Pokemon in the team you have currently and shows you their win-loss graphs. Your next 2 sections will show your defensive and offensive typings. This team resists 10 of the 18 types and can hit all 18 types super effectively. So it has great coverage, but on the flip side is weak to a lot of the top meta. That's basically what this page has shown us after we put in our team. And with each of the Pokemon you put in, you can change your IVs to your actual Pokemon's IVs, you can change movesets, you can put in any sticks you want. Then, over by the 3 dots, there's the next section, which shows the moves. So for this section, you have the fast moves, you have your key, and you have the actual moves themselves. So you can sort by each of these. You can go alphabetically by move, you can go by type. The D here for damage shows moves, fast moves that do the most damage. being Charm, the ones that gain the most energy being Volt Switch, Bullet Seed, Snarl, Confusion. The ones that take the most amount of turns being Volt Switch, Confusion, Splash, and Yawn, being the 4-turn moves we have currently. Also showing some here, the 3-turn moves. Smackdown is there, Waterfall is there, Bubble is there, Bullet Seed, Snarl, Fire Spin, Ice Shard, Mud Slap. They're probably the ones you're going to see the most of. You can see then come down into 2, so you got Mud Shots, Psycho Cut, things like that. So then you go to your damage per turn. So these are going to be the moves that are going to be dealing the most amount of damage per turn. Razor Leaf and Charm being the top 2 with Long Sight Confusion. But again, the energy gained from these isn't going to be as much as some of the moves that deal less damage per turn. A lot of moves are either going to be heavy on damage or heavy on energy, or somewhere in the middle of both. As you can see here, Lock On is the best for energy per turn, gaining 5, but also only doing 1 damage. Mud Shot and Psycho Cut and Thunder Shock getting 4.5 energy per turn, but also only doing 1.5 damage. Bullet Seed Snarl getting 4.33 per turn, which is 13 per Snarl, and 1.66 getting 5 energy, or 5 damage per Snarl or Bullet Seed also. So you can basically analyze any fast move or charge move doing this. So just changing the drop down here now to charge moves. Okay, so it's going to show you the damage, the energy, the damage per energy. As you can see, the moves that do the most damage are Draco Meteors, Focus Blast, Gig Impact, Hyper Beam, Solar Beam. You know, all your beams are going to be up here. All your nukes, Blizzards, Gunk Shots, Hydro Pumps. Then it shows you what takes the most energy, then what's the best move, damage per energy. And it's Overheat, Draco Meteor, Close Combat, Wild Charge, Frenzy Plant, Flying Press, Blast Burn, Rock Wrecker. You know, so you're going to have your Community Day moves, and your moves that are going to give you debuffs. And you can see the column here on the right. You can also sort by debuffs or buffs. Some of these are buffs, some of these are debuffs. Again, it shows you the percentage chances. You can also go into here what's called the Moveset Explorer, where if I type in Razor Leaf, it'll show me a list of all the Pokemon that have Razor Leaf. You can also do this by doing @Razor Leaf in the Rankings tab. You can also type in Blizzard, and it shows you all Pokemon that have both Razor Leaf and Blizzard as moves that they can learn. Again, it's a Bomb Snow and Ludicolo, and Smeargle. Not that you're going to see much Smeargle in competitive action, seeing as it maxes out at about 400 CP. Again, just taking out the Blizzard shows you all Pokemon that can learn Razor Leaf. Some of them are yet to be in the game, as you can see, like Lavani, which could be very interesting. Bug with Razor Leaf. Again, just going back here to the fast moves, you can just search for them. Same way you can search in the rankings page for Pokemon, things like that. You just put in exactly what you want. And the next thing then with the search function, if you're looking for Charm and Razor Leaf, just stick a comma in between them. And both will come up together, and this way you can put in a set list of moves you want to check and compare them against each other. Like here, if you were looking at Acid Spray versus Stone Edge for some reason, you can compare the two of them with damage, energy, and DPE. And here, if just for example, you were looking at what should I run on my Hypno, which elemental punch. If you just wanted to look at the individual values of each of the 3 elemental punches that Hypno learns, you can just stick them in here. You can see they're all 55 damage, they're all 40 energy, and they're all 137 DP. The next section then is articles. Now, it's not very often articles go up here. When they do, they can be very informative. It's also a nice way for you to just keep up with what new things are being added to the site. One of the most recent articles there is about the April update that we had, checking trainer battles, and the one after that is about the best candidates for elite TMs. So moving in, then you also here have your settings tab. Again, this basically means if you want to show Pokemon having typical IVs, so you have in the rankings or in their battle sims, you can set up a Pokemon to have rank 1 IVs or have rank 500 IVs. Again, here this will just show you the link to basically how to support PvPoke if you ever want to do so. And I would recommend doing so because these things he does for the PvP community is incredible. And also there's a link here to his Twitter if you ever need to contact him.